Hello everyone, welcome back to another lesson. Today we are going to discuss about Boolean flags and how they can be integrated in our if statement conditions and if else conditions. So previously we learned about logical operators. For example, here we initialize one integer, we read the score from the user and then store it. And then using AND logical operators, we check if the number is above 50 and lower than 100, then we print out the you passed the quiz and otherwise you failed. So this we learned previously. Let's try and see this one. So for example, I would say if my score is 76, it says you passed the quiz. It's very straightforward. We discussed this already. However, if we integrate Boolean flags into this if-else condition, it gives a descriptive name to the condition, making the purpose of the if statement clear and easier to understand when the code is shared with others. And also, they can help keep track of whether something has happened or a specific state has been reached in your program or not. So therefore, they can help us to reduce the error as well because we don't have to repeat certain complex, logic repeatedly. So let me give you an example. I will comment this part and then I will do the same. Um, I will rewrite the same code, however, using the Boolean flags. So instead of only initializing the integer, I am also here initializing a Boolean data type that is called passed quiz. So here initially I put it to false. It's your call, but usually when we want to use the Boolean flags, we initialize them to a false value, and then when the condition is met, we set it to true. So initially, by default, they usually are false. So here we show the message to the user saying that enter your score and then we store it. Here we mention that if the score is above 50 and less than 100 using AND logical operator just like before, if this is the case, don't right away print, okay, you passed the exam. Set the Boolean flag to true instead of false. That was by default initialized. So set it to true. And if this is the case, set it to true. So we don't have to write the else condition. So we are avoiding writing this else condition. We are just writing one if condition. So if this happens, the condition is passed, therefore the passed quiz boolean is set to true. Then in the end, we can check this condition saying that if passed quiz equals true, then you pass the exam, and else or otherwise you failed. Let's try this one. So it's compiling. Now I would say 75 and it returns pass. Why? Let's analyze the code. Here it checks the number with these conditions. It passes and then set true to passed quiz, and then because the passed quiz equals true, it prints that you passed the exam. Also, this part is redundant. We can also remove this. So by default, when we use a Boolean flag, so when we write no conditions for them, it means that if they are true, it's like that. So let's compile again. So we can eliminate that part as I mentioned. So now I would say 87 and it prints you passed the quiz. So easily you don't even have to mention that it equals if it equals true. The fact that you put the Boolean flag there without anything, it means that okay, if this is true. This is something by default known by the C++ compiler. So this way you can avoid the second else and let the decision be made only with this one. And of course, you need to add another if conditions to print out your result, but this way you are making your code to be more readable. So its readability is increased, and it is very common among programmers to use Boolean flag because it gives a description to your if condition. So this if condition is defined because we want to make sure if the person is passed or not. However, here, okay, after reading the code, we understand that yes, this if condition is defined because we want to check if the guy is passing the test or not. However, it is only showing a message saying that, but in this place, we are assigning true to past quiz. So you see the difference is that this code is more readable, it reduces the error and helps to increase the readability of your code. Thank you for watching. In next lectures, we are going to practice a little bit if statements with Boolean flags.